Oh, I actually wish we'd have recorded all of that because that was fucking hilarious. Oh God. I've just been like,
Oh,
your vagina too.
that's really funny. That's oh no. No, no, no. Oh no. I can't deal with this, Nick. It's just too much.
It's your fault for saying you had saggy boobs and I just lifted mine up and then it went into shots. Serious. So just for the record, it is a full moon in Capricorn.
A
Like,
full moon in Capricorn. Boy, don't we know it. But it's all about letting go, isn't it? And setting intentions and taking action according to the book.
this for the podcast.
No, it's just for you. It's taking action, Nick.
I know. I'm gonna write that down. Just
Must
do
take
it.
action.
Just fucking do it. There we go. I was gonna write knobhead, but I'm not gonna be negative to myself. So
Oh no, because you're not a knobhead, are you? Oh, a knobhead. Oh, what's knobhead? It's all right. I've been spending time with a friend from Surrey, so she's poshed
oh,
me
is
out.
that why? There
That's
we
what.
go. That makes sense. This is why you're Nerissa Farquhar this morning. You've become, it's your open G centre. You've become posh.
I've become posh. She southernized me.
Listen to how posh you are.
Am I?
She southernized me. Oh. Anyway,
Okay, right. Anyway, should we do the podcast now?
I'm gonna sneeze. Not
Take
now.
time.
All I can see is Jason's hole. Because the puppet's just laying there with his legs open.
Ah,
Oh God.
got loads of flies in it.
Come. Can it? I'm gonna sit with my eyebrows on.
I haven't
Okay.
got any good props around at the minute.
Oh look.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking cacao in my yogurt.
Oh, is that? Oh, you just need something, don't you? I don't have this problem, do I?
Like a biro.
Well, that'll do. Yeah, Byro will do it. Got a Sharpie, pink one.
Oh, who was it? You know that self-developer lip gloss that you can get? My friend's
Yeah.
son put it all over his face as a joke, and it just doesn't come off. So he has all this fucking big, massive, bright red mouth.
Oh no, that's a mistake. Yeah, because it just keeps going, doesn't it? I'm not a fan of that because you put it on and you go, oh, it's all right, and then you look in the mirror 10 minutes later and go,
Fucking hell.
turned into a prostitute. Anyway, we should save this for the podcast, shouldn't we?
Yes, for the
Yeah.
bloopers.
Right, for the bloop. This is the bloopers.
This is the blue, whatever that is. Right.
We
Okay.
know what it is.
I hope, well, yeah. Okay. You do the intro.
Am I doing the intro? What are we talking about?
What was the title you wrote
I,
down?
I think I think we should talk about how do you get through the summer holidays
Hmm.
with being happy, upbeat, and optimistic. Right?
We should call it.
Look at that. No, Nerissa, that's boring as fuck.
I was just thinking it is about that, but we need a more hooky title. So is it today Nerissa is Mrs. Farquhar or something? Mrs. Farquhar and the big vagina, let's call it that.
Yes. Oh, I love our podcasts.
Oh, me too. I'm gonna write that down so we don't forget. Although I know someone called Farquhar. Oh, it won't matter.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are they in the film Shrek?
No, she's actually a Facebook follower.
Shit. You can't really do this then, can we?
But we've always said like little Lord Farquhar and stuff like that when someone's had a posh. So it's not linked to, it's not talking about or ripping the piss out of anyone. It's just, it's like the thing, the kin think about the Kinsellas in Ireland. I'm not offended. It's not about me. The Netflix series, Kin. Have you not heard of it?
No.
Oh, it's
I haven't got a
about.
clue what you're talking about. Can you not tell from this blank face?
Sort of get that.
Yeah. Mm.
Or should we call it Nerissa is now Southern and I've got a big vagina? Something like
I'm not Southern.
that.
Look, there will never, ever be a time that I say path or grass or bath.
What do you say?
Bath, grass, and path.
Okay. Who was I with? Oh, Emma. When we were doing the Reiki attunements, and she said about a castle. And when Daisy was little, she used to call a bouncy castle a bouncy castle because she used to watch Peppa Pig.
Ah.
Right, come on, because it's 1:10.
Yes, I know. I'm going to have a starving child.
We'll just do 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, just a quick check-in. Okay. It's a bit warm in here. What?
Oh.
Hello, welcome to season 2. We just suddenly decided that this is season 2 and we're on our 23rd episode. So for today, we are going to do just us. Yay!
Yay!
She doesn't speak though. Hi.
Think of something to say.
It's just us. It's the beginning of the school holidays. We are slightly delusional today, aren't we? The sun is out. Is the sun out where you are? No, sun's out in Solihull.
You know what?
Sun's out, guns out. And I'm feeling, I think we talked earlier, how I'm feeling happy, upbeat and optimistic.
Would you like to share a bit more about that conversation?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
so I can't even remember how it came out, but you were just saying, I feel happy today. I feel happy and feel upbeat and optimistic. And it was like just the way it came out your mouth, you were like labeling your feelings, but it was just, it came out really posh.
and I was explaining to Nick that I've just spent the weekend with my very lovely and oldest friend, Jackie, and I've told her to listen to the podcast. So, Jackie, if you're listening, here's a shout out. Jackie actually is born and bred in Solihull, but she's been living in Surrey for the last like 30 years. So she is somewhat posher than me. And it might have brushed off a little bit. So yeah, anyway, there we go. So I'm looking posh and very, very Surreyfied, and Nick has got her big vagina t-shirt on.
So I got a big vagina t-shirt for my birthday off Nerissa, and Nerissa was saying before she felt like her boobs were a bit saggy today, and as I cut mine and lifted them up, I pulled me vulva into shot on the camera. Not my real one, the one on my top, just to be very, very clear. There is nothing untoward going on, but you can watch the video if you want. I'll put it on YouTube.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry for anyone that's listening. Yeah. Well, but you know what? I think you start off the summer holidays feeling like this, optimistic. You haven't had to get up. We haven't had to do school run.
I love it. Daisy came down before, didn't she, while we were talking, and it was like 1:45. Just came in like Jon Snow wrapped in a blanket.
She did. She did, Jon Snow. If Jon Snow had walked into your kitchen, I'd be on the M6 right now, mate, to be honest. So
that's another story.
And then what were we talking about earlier? So we're talking about how, you know, even though it's like school holidays, we both feel like we really want to get some stuff done, and the kids are happy and doing their own thing, aren't they? And there's our to-do list. We've been writing our to-do list this morning, haven't we? and both decided that we actually need to take action. So I've come up with a quote, which is a quote for the week, which is take action. An inch of movement will bring you closer to your goals than a mile of intention. And I love a little inspirational quote on a Monday, to be honest, because this is what I used to do for a day job. And I'd have loads of blank faces looking back at me generally. But if it's relevant for you, then a little inspirational quote on a Monday can take you a long way. Just keep looking at it through the week. So why not? So we're gonna write a list of actions that's gonna get us to our goals today, Nick. Not
Sorry,
live on a podcast, clearly, because that'd be a bit boring. But
I just need to cough.
oh dear, she's coughing away.
Because
So
I've been laughing. I need to cough.
laughing so much.
Just going back to your quote, I was listening to something yesterday. So I decided on Saturday to go to have a digital detox because I felt like I was losing my voice and I didn't know what to say. And I felt funny showing up and things were starting to trigger me. And I was like, right, I'm consuming too much. I'm just like taking in everything, and because I've got stuff that I want to put out there, I was like trying to link it into what I was doing, like, oh, is that, and are they my added client, and and should I do it like this, and what are they doing, and instead of just going inwards and thinking about what it is that I want and why I want to do it. So I started my digital detox on Saturday, and already, like today, I just feel like this morning the crown of my head was wide open. I have done Reiki Masters attunements over the weekend, and I've been Reiki blasted. We did a Reiki share yesterday, and I had like 6 hands on me, and that really like blew the top of my head off. It was amazing. So there's been other contributing factors to it, but I listened to something instead of sort of scrolling. And it was all about that, exactly what you've just said. How about when you take one little step towards the big goal, you won't recognize your life in 5 years from now. But if you stay stuck at the bottom of the mountain, looking up, thinking about how big it is, and you're never going to get there, you'll never move. And it's all about the journey as well, isn't it? It's all about like the experiences, the bad decisions that we make because we think we can trust people and they're shysters, and that's a whole nother story. But there's just so many things that stop us from doing when actually we just need to keep moving.
Yeah. And it's easy, isn't it? I mean, we can spend hours on the phone to each other and achieve nothing, right? So I think today, try not to joke on a squash. I think today it was like, right, let's spend a bit of time actually looking at the bigger picture and what the big goal is. But and I did a talk on this a couple of weeks ago, actually, at Inspire and Connect, and also at Mums in Business, where we talked about, well, it's all right having that massive goal, isn't it, at the top of your mountain? But it's so overwhelming to look at that and to kind of go, oh, how the hell do I get there? And even if you break it down into actions, you know, you've got to be really specific. So that's why I like a little inspirational quote at the start of the week. And what I tend to do is then look at that bigger goal and go, right, so out of that, what am I actually going to achieve this week? And then break that down into when am I actually going to do that? So like my to-do list is absolutely hilarious this week. So obviously on there I need to do some socials posts and some emails and rewrite some of my copy for my LinkedIn profile and talk about the book launch. Woo, on the 13th of September. We need to talk about that as well and organize my own version of that too. But I've also got on there things like clean the kitchen because it needs doing, doesn't it? So, you know, if I'm going to get through this summer and work towards having a bit of sanity and everyone getting clean clothes and having food and things like that, then things like that have got to be on your to-do list, unfortunately.
No, I don't put things like that on my to-do list, even though I do them, but it pisses me off putting them on there because we've got a whole through lounge. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see like my back room's over there. I'm not showing you my kitchen because it's like a fucking bomb site. And it's hard. Like I was saying to you this morning, wasn't I? I get more work done in the bedroom. That sounds really wrong. That's a whole other podcast.
Oh, Nick. Already going down this route.
I was sitting in the bedroom this morning with my laptop and I wasn't distracted. Like I wasn't Because I love sitting looking out the window at the mountains. I can see the Welsh mountains in between the two houses and in front of me out the window because we're like risen up over the back and it's lovely. But sometimes I'll be doing something and I'll just look up, or like a big massive seagulls just flying past, and then I'll see something else and I'm like, oh, and then I'll be like, oh, do you know what? I'll just get up and I'll just do that. And so it's about giving yourself that time to be like, no, for the next 45 minutes, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And for those 15 minutes, I'll get up and I'll do the dishwasher and I'll let the dog out and I'll feed
Yeah.
the
Have a
children.
break, move your body, all of that stuff.
It's so important.
Yeah.
I mean, this morning I sat and I've worked from like 20 past, no, probably it's like 6 o'clock until about 10:30. And I was in it and I loved it. And you know, when your brain's like firing on all cylinders, and I struggle with this because I do think I've got some like neuro spiciness going on, which I'm about to investigate a little bit more because things are becoming more difficult. And I think it's because of menopause as well that my concentration's not as good as it should be. But I got so much done this morning, just being
Yeah.
in an environment.
Yeah. And from a business point of view, yes, I've got stuff like that on my to-do list, but what I always like to do is I only put on my business to-do list things that are going to actually move the needle towards the goal, because you can do all sorts of crap in your business, and actually, does it really make a difference, and does it move you further towards your goal? And as long as you ask yourself that, put it on there, and then I plan it out, right, I'm going to do it on this day. And you've always got crap on there, haven't you? Like you've got to do your accounts and shit like that. Yes, I've got to do that. I've actually got that on my to-do list. But that will make me look at my figures, so that will in itself make me look at what my financial goals are as well. So there's always a reason. But if it doesn't move the needle towards your bigger goal, then don't do it. And that's the thing, isn't
I
it?
spent so long just fluffing around and doing stuff that didn't actually need doing. And I think for people who are at the very beginning of their business, it's almost, you've got to look at, why are you doing that? Like, is it because you don't want to be seen? Is it because you don't want to do the things that need to be done? Why don't you want to do those things? So it's almost like you keep yourself safe by making an excuse of doing all the fluffy shit that doesn't need to be done. Whereas actually what you need to be doing is making money in your business, and it needs to be treated like a business. But it's hard to get into that mindset because you've got all this freedom and you've got all this time, and sometimes we waste time. And then we're laying in bed at 10:30 with all these fucking brain farts going off because we should have done this, and this. And that's why I always have a pen and paper next to my bed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's true though, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's good to have a pen and paper, or I may have my notes on my phone that if I come up with something, then it all goes into there. And it's when you're in that mood as well, like cash in on it.
yeah.
Like you this morning, just like 5 hours of, oh God, I'm really in the doing mood. So I'm gonna just like crack on, and you get so much done in that time compared to times where you're forcing it and you're not really feeling it.
You can't force it because it's shit. You just produce shit and then you're really pissed
Yeah.
off at yourself because you've wasted time. You might as
Yeah.
well not do anything. Fill your cup back up, and then when you get your brain farts again, go for it. And
Yeah.
I find that a lot. Like, I don't know if it's to do with menopause or whatever it is, but more frequently I'm having gaps of there's nothing happening in between my ears.
We all have it.
Even the
Like,
squirrels that are asleep, I'm just like, hello, hello. And I'll be like, what should I be doing? And then I'll do like masculine-y stuff. Because if I've got no creative juices flowing, I'll be like, okay, what can I do? And
yeah,
it's having that list. So your lists are so fucking important, because even if you don't want to do them, knowing what you can do when you're in the mood and picking the stuff off that's easy, like accounts. You can sit and do that because it's boring as fuck, but you've got, you don't need to be creative about it.
exactly. And that's where I would be today, I guess, because I've had quite a busy weekend, so I'm quite tired. I'm not in the creating my whole LinkedIn profile and writing copy and all of that. I'm definitely in that I could sit and do some accounts for a couple of hours, and at least then you feel like you've actually achieved something still, and then you don't hit yourself with the shitty should stick, do you, when you've done nothing but watch Netflix. Yeah.
It's Monday. House of Dragons is out today. So
Nikki
excited.
has a slight obsession with House of Dragons.
Oh, I love it. It's
Yeah,
just,
you do. I know you do.
and the boys, oh my God, that's so wrong. The series of boys, it's about really naughty superheroes. And that's finished now. We just
How
finished
was
that.
it? Oh, never got into it.
Have you
Should have
watched
done
it?
by the look of it. No, I've never watched it.
You need to have a look. Sorry in advance. If you don't like nudity, rudity, or violence and blood, don't put it on. And I don't particularly, but it's so you're just so shocked by what happens next. You can't not watch. You know, when you're like, oh my God, is that a massive penis? And you're like, it is. And it's different superpowers, and one of them has this massive schlong that grows and he wraps people up in it and squashes them.
What?
And the end moves.
Wow. Are you all right, Nick? Oh man.
Sorry.
Hey, I think it's this full moon energy as well, isn't it? So tell us about that then, Nick. You're the expert on the full
Well,
moon in Capricorn, but it's quite a strong one from what I understand.
so it's the second full moon in Capricorn, which never normally happens. We never normally have two full moons in the same star sign in the same period. So it's a real like coming back to kick you back up the arse. And where all the planets are, they're in conjunct with, I can't remember, is it Pluto or Jupiter? I can't remember which ones, but
I think it
basically,
was, is it not Saturn? I've read about this earlier.
well, it
I've read
won't.
about this earlier.
It,
I'm getting the book out. I'm getting the book out.
it might not be in there because it's a second one and it's different.
Oh,
So there's this amazing guy on Instagram. I can't remember what his name is, but if you go on my stories, he's in there. And he was saying about how it's the end of a cycle. So it's linked back to 2008. So anything that was going on for you in 2008,
like
any
I had my first son.
any
Mm-hmm.
behaviors, any traits, and I was like, okay, I became a mother. What happened to me? I started trying to mother anyone. Do I feel like I need to mother my clients, and that's why I can't up level? Is this where my pricing block is, and all these type of things? So it was looking at all these traits and behaviors, and I was like, oh my God. So there's that, but also Capricorn is about getting organized. It's about getting structure, strategy. It's all the masculine energy. So you might feel like your emotions are a bit switched off at the moment and you're a bit disconnected because you're in that Capricorn energy of getting things in order, getting things in place, creating lists, looking at your goals, and it will actually show you things that you need to see. And if you won't look at them, it's going to poke you in the eye. It's going to be like, you need to see this, you need to see this.
I mean, I don't know, mate, because as I said earlier, I feel really happy.
Good.
I feel really,
Upbeat.
upbeat and optimistic. So I don't know about being detached from my emotions at the moment. But you're right. I mean, it's all about getting the do. So, but I do feel really, really drawn to writing down all my actions. And like it's like a new beginning almost. Like it's like I've had a big kick up the arse, and I want to get into doing all the things that are going to make a difference. If you know what I mean. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just saying here, under this full moon, you're being asked to look long term and are being guided towards what is real and lasting for you. Anything that's not meant for your path and will not serve you in your future will start to fall away. And this is
Ooh.
the Lunar Living book by Kirsty Gallagher, which is like my moon Bible, which is
Yeah,
even got a coffee cup mark on it. That's how much it's
it's
been all
amazing. It's such a good book. I was
but
reading it this morning, to be fair, Nick, and it was talking, what was it talking to? Full
doing
moon, yeah. Use the full moon in Capricorn to get clear on your emotions, journal on what emotions are coming up. So, exactly what you were saying, you might feel a bit emotional. So, what are those emotions showing you, and what practical steps could you take to move forward with a clear plan? So, it's bringing you into doing a clear plan. Get organized, which is why I've suddenly started organizing everything and like putting everything in order, I guess. So, sudden urge to clear out your wardrobe, tidy your whole house, or get your life in order. So, I'm kind of getting pulled to put everything in order for my business
yeah.
and go with that. And notice your biggest doubts. That's a really hard one, isn't it?
We
Because
don't want to look at those sometimes, do we? So
no, and like in the context of your ambitions, aspirations, or career goals.
do you know
So
what? If you
yeah,
can look at what your triggers are or what your fears and what your doubts are, it will honestly change your life, because it's those that are like, when we unpick them and we look at what we're really scared of and why we're scared of it, it's often not what we think it is. It's normally something else. So when you can really get clear on the things that are holding you back, you can look at them and they won't hold you back. You might still feel the same feelings sometimes, but you'll know that it's safe to feel that, because it's just because of something that happened. Like, the bullies aren't going to get me anymore because I'm not going to let them. I'm fucking 44. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes showing up feels really scary, but I know that's just a story that I've created to keep myself safe. And it's almost a bit of an excuse to like not show up because I don't feel like it. But the truth is, if I want my business to move forward, I need to be consistent and show up every day. So whether I do, even if I don't do a live, I post every single day, and I have done for the last 5 years. And I think that's why everything's working out, because consistency is the hardest thing, don't you think?
yeah. Oh God, it is. I find it really, really difficult to show up every day on socials, and I'm doing it. One thing I'm learning though is that it doesn't have to be like thought out or kind of calculated. I don't mean calculated. I mean kind of, you don't
Careful.
have to think too deeply over it. Don't overthink it. Just be yourself, and whatever is going on for you at that point, share it. So like I've just been sharing this weekend about what I've been up to. I've been to a summer festival in our local town, and it was really good fun. And it was just like sharing a little bit about that, because you're a human being at the end of the day, aren't you? um and yeah,
I
it's
think when you
that.
share from your heart, and again, this goes back to what I was saying at the beginning about having a digital detox and not getting sucked into what everyone else is doing and saying and, launching and all that. When you can speak from your heart, you connect to more people, because they feel it. They feel the energy in your post, as opposed to just sort of throwing something out there and it being but when you're actually genuinely talking about something and it's meant, people will feel that connection, because it's
Yeah, because if you try and if you try and put it out there and it's just like because I want to sell my latest whatever it is, you're not necessarily connecting with your people, are you? And I think as soon as you park the fact that you're trying to sell something, because ultimately we're all in business, aren't we? But more concentrate on the reason that you're trying to sell that something. And generally with people like us, it's because they want to change the lives of someone else through something they've learned. So talk about that from the heart, because it's not for me about making the sale in terms of getting bums on seats. It's helping the right people, bringing like-minded people into my world, people that I can really make a difference with, and people that will walk away and go, I found real value in that. And in actual fact, it doesn't matter to me whether that's come through a paid sale or just a casual conversation. It gives me the same kicks, to be honest.
It does, doesn't it? When you see that person go, oh, and you've like, oh, you've got a little thumbs up there. You've
I do.
thumbs up's just go on Nerissa's screen. It is that though, isn't it? It's just a genuine connection of being authentic with no ulterior motive and just sharing.
I don't know what it's going to do when I do different things. Oh, look at that! She's got fireworks. I love it. Why
Being
can't
glitter.
I get fireworks? I don't
Is
understand it.
it because it's
I only
my
get a thumbs up. That's all I get. Get nothing. Oh, confetti. Yeah. See, we could play
balloons?
music for
Well, but
hours, couldn't
how you
we?
get, the balloons? Some
Nikki's doing some really strange movements here, but it's actually resulting in nothing. Oh, there it is, balloons. But no, I mean, when I speak to people, um, it's interesting when you drop all that expectation and take all that pressure off your shoulders and just speak from your heart. Nikki's losing the plot. Why? I
just
don't.
realize what's on your top and what's on my top.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Rolling Stone's tongue, and I've got a big vagina. Sorry, easily distracted.
So easily distracted. We were having a serious conversation then.
Sorry, carry on.
We're not really. What was I saying? Oh yeah, when you speak from the heart. Yeah, and it's more about really working out what your why is, isn't it? Working out what really, really, really gets you out of bed in the morning and what you enjoy doing. And for me, it's been really hard, and I'm still not there.
I was just going to say it is hard because you look at everyone else's why
Yeah,
and you like compare your why to theirs, and is mine as important or is mine as big? But actually, it doesn't fucking matter because it
no,
gets to be your. Who was I talking to last week about success? And I was like, it has to be your version of success, which is the same as your why, isn't it? Because why do you want the things that you want? And you were poking me on this before because we were talking about the mountain. And I was like, I
yeah.
want 11K at the top of my mountain because that's what I want to earn a month. And you were like, yeah, but why? Yeah, but this, yeah, but that. And
No,
actually,
you don't want to put a monetary figure at the top of your mountain, Nick. You want to put your ideal life at the top of your mountain. It's not the money. The money, you could have 11K, but if you don't do the right things with it, then you're still not going to have what you want. So it's digging deeper than that, isn't it?
but I could tell you exactly what I wanted the 11K for. So that just needs to go
True.
above because that is
Yeah.
it's the freedom, it's the more holidays, it's the giving the kids nice things, it's the just not worrying, having financial freedom, and just so in the next 5 years, I want to pay my mortgage off
Yeah.
and plan, and that just proper fills me with joy.
Yeah.
It's the thought of doing that.
But and at the same time, if you can do that whilst doing something you love, whilst changing other women's lives in the process, that massively lights you up, doesn't it? So, I mean, everybody's why is going to be around that. I mean, if it's about money, though, you really need to think about, well, what is it that you want to use the money for? What difference is that going to make to your life, and how is your life going to look with that money? And financial freedom is the reason that you do it all. But it'd be no good if you're then working 7 days a week and you can't enjoy it.
No.
So
The thing with money as well is a lot of people have got money stories and money issues. So by creating an emotional connection to your why and what you want the money for, it can make it easier for you to receive because
yeah,
you've got that vision and you've got that feeling. So if you can really sit and feel into what it's going to feel like when you've got no mortgage and you can just go, do you know what? Should we go away at the weekend? Oh yeah, let's go to Madrid, and just buzz off on a little plane. And like that really lights me up. So making money and calling it in now, it's aligned
yeah, yeah,
and I'm open to receiving it because I'm excited.
yeah. And I mean, it's twofold for me. I'd love to be able to do stuff like that where you can just go, oh yeah, stuff it. I'm going to go and go away for the weekend, not have to worry about it, or I'm going to take the kids to like Alton Towers for the day and not search for discounts, or and it's school holidays. You could spend a fortune in school holidays taking kids out, couldn't you? And I'm not worried about any of that. So all of that is good. But then for me, my why is about what I'm actually doing in the day as well, because I want to really enjoy my work and I want to be doing stuff that I love doing and making a difference. And I think maybe that's my projectorism, is that I need to be taking that like overview and managing problems and projects and making things work better and processes and all of that sort of stuff. Nick's pointing to herself there, and I'm not like project managing Nick, but franchise.
No, but you're helping me. Like, so people management is something that I've never had to do before. And I didn't, what you don't know what you don't know, do you? So Nerissa's coming in to help me put things in place and make sure that I've got everything that I need and just helping to get some like structure going on because that's what Nerissa's best at. I'm amazing at the creation and the fluffy stuff, but sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and that's why it's so important to have an amazing team.
And for me, that makes my heart beat. Just even you talking there, and I'm going, oh yeah, I want to get stuck in. I want to get stuck in because I want you to have all those processes there. I want you to have a really good onboarding, and I want you to create this amazing team and watch them flourish and grow and be happy and do all the things that you dream of doing. And in order to do that, you've got to have the, you know, X, Y, and Z in place. And I can completely see it. It's like I can see it all mapped out. Yeah, we just got to do this. We just got to do that.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah, and Nick's hiding in a cupboard somewhere. But that's where you find your people, don't you? And opposites attract. So, you know, and that's part of it. So what lights me up will be completely different to what lights Nick up.
yeah. And it's supposed to be like that.
Although
Because,
in leisure time, probably not. We can still have fun.
oh God, we have fun in everything that we do. And that's a massive thing that I was going to talk about as well. I can't even remember in what. I was writing stuff this morning, but I was talking about why it needs to be fun and like inner child stuff. And you know, if it doesn't need to be boring, it needs to feel easy and light. And sometimes we put so many barriers in place. Was it you I was talking to about the Reiki masters? And I was like, oh my God, it was amazing. It was so easy. We had
Yeah.
so much fun. You know, it was just, we went with the flow. We did loads of meditations. We laid on the grass in the garden and we did some work outside, and then we did Reiki shares and although it was Reiki Masters training, we'd done all the theory on the calls before. And then when we were together, we were just sort of playing with Reiki, and they were asking questions and stuff. And then at the end, showing them how to do an attunement so that they have seen an attunement, and all they need to do is practice. They've got the shorthand version so they can read it off easy. They know what they need to do. But it wasn't about that. It was about the connection, and it was about us sharing, and it was just fucking.
So for anybody right listening to this that hasn't met Nick in person and seen some of the things that she does, right? So this is where I sit with this. So where Nikki comes into her own is when literally she's around people and demonstrating some of the modalities and the things that you do. So the one example that I can think of, like obviously I've done Reiki training with you, which is magical. But the one example was where we were at an event together in March this year. And obviously, I was there to help do sales for the franchise. And that's my bag, and talking to people about that. But what it evolved into for Nick was you started effectively doing cord cutting, didn't you? With your selenite sword, and the magic just started to happen. And you had queues of people all wanting to be around you because you are so fucking magic when you do that. And that's the difference. And it's about finding your thing that lights you up. And for Nick, actually doing all of the spiritual practices like lights you the fuck up. You can see it a mile off. It's what you're good at. And I was just there handing out the tissues, basically going, okay, you know, but and for me, it's putting all the processes in place that proper lights me up and making sure it all works properly and all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and all of that, you know. So it's finding your thing that you're really good at. And everyone's good at it. Everyone's good at something. If you look back through your timeline in your life, you can see the times where you were the happiest and what you were doing, and looking at your human design and all of that, you can piece it all together and go, oh yeah, it was that. And then it's thinking about how you can translate that into your business, into your everyday, isn't
What
it?
you said there, can I just say about how some people think that what makes them happy isn't enough? Like, oh, it can't be that, or it shouldn't be this, it needs to be something bigger. But you are you, like you are here for a reason. Like the thought of sitting and creating a manual makes me want to poke my eyes out, but you love it because it's the whole process, because you know what's going to happen when you've got that in place. And when you were talking to me last week about do this and do that and make sure you record this and this will have to go in there and then we can put that in the ops manual, and I was like, fucking hell. And you were just on fire and you were just like giving it all out, and then I was like, that was fucking gold. Like I made 3 pages of notes from what you just said, and at the end you were just like, oh, there she is. But that is your light,
Yeah.
and it gets to be whatever you want it to be or whatever it is for you. So
Yeah.
trust that.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I love kind of leaning into learning new things as well, because obviously since I've met you, you've taken me on the journey, and I've done Reiki and all sorts of stuff, and really opened my mind. And I love all of that, but I couldn't be that person doing all of that because it's not me. But I see you in action and go, oh, that's what she should be doing. So my job here is to take all that other shit off you, because I don't want you to be doing all of that, worrying about that when it's not what you're good at. This is what you're good at. And people that have met you see that, don't they? So, yeah. And that's what you enjoy doing as well. Look at you now. You've just spent a weekend doing what you love.
And I feel on fire again. And I'm just like, I just love it. I just love helping people realize how magic they are. And it's that connection, and it's them going, and I'm like, see, like one of the ladies at the weekend, when she did Reiki 1 and 2, she didn't feel anything. And she was really worried. She was like, oh my God. And she's a projector, and she needed to have a process. So I had to trying to help someone who is very process driven to connect to their intuition is very, very hard. So trying to, just say it'll happen with time and it'll da. Anyway, when I did the Reiki Masters attunement on it, I felt her crown open. And I could literally feel, I couldn't see, but I could, when I don't know if this makes sense, but I knew that there was like beams of light coming out of the crown, even though I couldn't see it. I could feel it and see it in my mind's eye. And it was like a lotus flower open, and it was all sparkling out. And when I touched her head, I was like, and she went, I felt that when we'd finished. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, wow. Because I can completely relate to that as a projector. Like, it's taken me a while to connect, hasn't it? And I'm not fully there at all,
But now what happens? Your hands just go on.
like now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like hold my hands up and they go dingle, dingle.
She was
It's
doing
like,
all this with her hands, and I was
whoa.
like, what are you doing there? She went, I don't know. And I was like, just keep doing it. And she's like, okay. So she's just pulling the energy out and trusting where to put her hands without needing it to be the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart. She was like, oh, I need to go to the sacral. So I go to the sacral. Oh, yeah, I need to go. Oh, I need to go to the head. Go to the head. And she was just, oh my God. And that, I feel like I'm going to cry.
There it is.
Just that, her letting go and trusting herself and realizing that, I mean, we've talked about running a retreat together next year in Egypt, because when I was telling her about these mountains and these different things, and she was like, we need to do something together. And I was like, let's do it. It was just,
Yeah.
oh, it was unbelievable. But it's that, isn't it?
It's that. And that's the thing, isn't it? When you start a business, you end up doing everything. And some of it is like, oh God, I really don't want to be doing this. And that's the importance of networking and finding someone else that is their why, and that's the thing that they like doing, you know.
So did we, when we like, it's only just now that we're figuring this out about each other, like the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I really fucking need you. I
Yeah.
mean, I needed
Yeah.
you anyway because you were my bestie, but it's just like, oh my God, like what Nerissa doesn't know about sales or marketing or people management or all of the processes, like, I don't know what she doesn't know, because the stuff that comes out of her mouth is just fucking, it just comes out and you're like, oh my God. Like, that's amazing. So if anyone needs any support with like business processes or people management, or what else is it that you can help them with?
Well, I think I'm going down the niche of looking at potential franchises, to be fair, aren't I, at the moment? But I mean, I do help people with sales as well. And structured sales is really my bag, and helping you to be able to kind of reach your audience and all of that kind of stuff. But like with Nick, because she's doing a franchise, it's getting the processes in so that you lay out your expectations in the right way right from the start, so that you protect your brand, so that you create something that is duplicatable. Is that a word?
Yes, it is now.
Yeah, it is now. And so that you've got everything there, to be able to make your franchisees the best they can be. Simple as that. And recruit the right people, and the whole recruitment process, from start to end, laying out your expectations, and then how you train them and how you monitor all of that and performance review it. And it's different because I've dealt with employees in the past, and they're obviously not employees, but you want people to succeed if they're coming on a franchise with you. And I think sometimes this is like the missing link when you decide to franchise your business. So that's definitely one route that I'm going down. I obviously do help corporates with sales training. I can do sales training courses, and I help female entrepreneurs to put themselves out there and get in the right mindset to really get inside what the client wants, and write emails and posts and all that kind of stuff as well. So I do some of that too. So yeah, all of that.
Love how opposites attract, and like how different we are, but we still get on so much, because you'll see holes in things that I'm doing and be like, what about that? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then I'll go, oh, you could do this. And you're like, oh. So it's like, I'm the creative, whereas you're the more. So
Process.
we need the feminine and the masculine in our businesses. We need the structure and the strategy to keep us grounded and safe. And then the feminine can flow. But not everyone's everything. So it's about, again, finding the right people to work with.
Your A team, as Stephen Bartley would say, and like event management as well, because of all the work that I've done with the goddamn PTA. I've organised a lot of events, so I know you're organising your book launch, aren't you? And I'm already going, well, have you thought about this? And have you thought about that? And that's just the way my brain works. I have a very logical brain, and I can see or foresee problems that could occur if you don't put certain things into place. So yeah, anything like that. And it's yin and yang, isn't it? But I mean, I've seen the magic. Like when we were in Anglesey a few weeks ago, weren't we? And projectors, sometimes I'm a projector, as we know, and sometimes we can struggle a little bit with our mindsets, and the whole, like, the words come in and we start chatting shit to ourselves. And Nikki, whilst we we're doing the Menike 13 rites of the womb ceremony, which was totally new to me and I absolutely loved it, but Nikki was doing Reiki on me and she pulled all that negativity out of my ears. Now, prior, a year ago, I'd have been like, what the hell? But I literally came out of this ceremony feeling like a new woman. Like, oh my God, I was like on fire, and that's magic that I can't do that you can do. So I'd love to be able to do that, and I'm trying to learn, aren't I, and connect with myself.
Absolutely. But, and it's in everyone, I believe, if that's your thing, if that's what you want. It's just the trust. And we were talking about this at the weekend, because the girls were like, I want what you've got. I want to be able to do what you do. And I was like, I've been doing this for 10 years. Don't forget, I wasn't always like this. And it's only like the last sort of 4 or 5 years, well, say like 4 years really, that I've started to get more confident in what I'm doing, because I've got the experience and I've learned to trust myself, because I've done so much fucking inner work, and I've worked with loads of other people, and I continue to do training. Like I'm doing an advanced hypnotherapy course at the moment because I want to learn more. Like I just believe that it's never ending for me. But I can feel something without even putting my hands on anybody now. So I can stand and do a body scan, just standing in front of someone. And they were like, how do you do that? And I was like, but I've done it for 10 years. So I trust that what I feel, because I know before I do any session, and I tell all my Reiki students to do this, is tap into you. How do you feel? And everybody can do this actually first thing in the morning. It's really good to do. It's just notice how you feel. Exactly, like, Nerissa felt happy and all those words that she said.
What was it? Happy, upbeat, and optimistic, actually.
So if she has a conversation with somebody that might really piss all over her bonfire, she can be like, that's not my energy, because I felt like that. So by knowing how you're feeling, if I get a sensation, like I'm an intuitive healer, so I can feel what other people are feeling in their bodies, I'll get that and go, that's not mine. So I'll be like, have you got this? Can you feel this here? Oh yeah, well, I've got this. And I'm like, right, could it be this? And they'll be like, oh shit, yeah. And it's just having, and sometimes they'll go, no. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, because it's not about me. We have to remove the ego. because we always want to get it right, but it's not. And it's like catchphrase. We've got to say what we see. So when stuff comes through or intuitive nudges, you just need to say it. And if the person takes it, they do. But I had it at the weekend, and then we went outside and she came back and she went, that was what you said it was. I've just remembered because it was this. And I was like, there we go. But her saying no at the time didn't take me off flow, because I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Do
matter.
you know what though? Anyone's capable of this, and I'm starting to learn that, right? So I've got a really silly example of it, and I was texting you at the time, Nick, at the weekend. I was at Solihull Summerfest, and Ronan Keating was on, right? And he started off with some really slow songs, and then he did a whole speech about I'm going to do this as a bit of a tribute to Boyzone, because obviously it was so big in the 90s, and obviously we lost Stephen from it, and he was so sad, and I could feel it, and I started to feel sad and really low and really down. I was texting Nick going, I can feel what Ronan Keating is feeling. And she was laughing at me, but it's true. I could literally feel it. It was like hitting me. My empath in me was like, oh,
And it is
yeah.
that big.
And you know that I can do that because it happened at that event in March as well. And you turned around and went, I can feel you.
Yeah.
And I was like, my heart was going out to somebody that was on stage at the time. And Nikki could feel how I was going, oh.
Yeah. And it's so important to know what's yours and what's not yours, and know how to protect your energy and all of these things. And that's what I feel like is the missing piece for a lot of women in business, because I see them burning out all the time. I see them pushing through. I see them not trusting themselves and not, taking the time that they want to take to get to know themselves, because we get lost in all of the busyness and the family and all of that, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, actually, what about me? So I've got something coming up called Embodying You, which is a 12-month program, which is all about pretty much everything we've just spoke about. It's got the Moonlight Key in it, it's got intuition, it's got energy work, it's got, like looking at your triggers and spiritual tools, and it's going to have 4 retreats around the UK.
Is that 4 opportunities to get you to pull shit out of people's ears, basically? That's the golden time, isn't it? When you're together, it's like, yes.
Pull more shit out my ears.
Honestly, I'd let Nikki get her hands on you. That's all I'm gonna say.
I love it. Well, considering we were only going to do 15 minutes, I think we've talked quite a bit longer than that, haven't we? So
we have, yeah.
If we could just finish on reminding everyone that the tickets are now live for the book launch. 13th of September, the book comes out. 26th of September is the book launch, where you can meet all of the authors and come and do a firewalk and an arrow break and all of the magical things. It's on Eventbrite, and we'll put the link in the show notes.
I'll put the link in the show notes today. Don't forget to follow us on Insta and Shopify, and just subscribe, do all the things. Drop us some comments as well. We love comments.
Yeah,
absolutely love them. Yeah, drop us some comments. We'd love your feedback. And if there's anything specific, if you've got any questions when I put my teeth back in, drop us some questions. What would you like us to talk about? Have you got anything that you would like us to I've gone posh again, haven't I? Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to actually discuss and you would like to hear from myself or from Nikki? We'd love to hear from you.
If you got a question that you want us to help you with, we would fucking love that. That'd make me pee glitter.
It would, yeah. And it would keep me very calm. On that note, we will see you soon. Yeah, have a great week, everybody. Bye.
Okay. That was good, wasn't it?
Are you not finishing the recording?
No, I just thought I'd sit and look at you for a bit longer. Do you want me to finish recording? I'll stop it.
We don't need this bit.